Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Endless TBR. My name is Christian, and this is my YouTube channel where I love to talk about books. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to click on this video where I want to share with you guys the books that I plan on reading in June of 2026. Sorry I haven't posted a lot of videos on here lately. I started my summer A college courses, and summer courses are always stressful because, they're condensed into half the amount of time. So it's a lot of reading and writing. I'm taking my fiction writing workshop class this semester. So it's a ton of reading and writing in like a 6 week period. So I've fallen a little bit behind on my videos. I'm trying to keep the shorts still going, doing those like individual book reviews. But for June, I'm going to try to get better and pump out a couple more videos just to put up on the channel. But for now, let's talk about some books that I want to read in June of 2026. I have a ambitious stack to say the least. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish all of these. I never finish any of them anyway, but I like to try. I like to try. But this month especially, it's a lot of pages. So I'm going to go for it. I was just having a really hard time like deciding which ones to keep on the list and which ones to not keep on. Like I want to read all these books really, really bad. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just do all of them. Let's see how I do. Let's shoot for the stars, and hopefully I don't land in like a black hole somewhere out in space. So the first book, the one that I'm currently reading, I just started it, so I don't really have any commentary on it, but it is Heart Shaped Box by Joe Hill. This is one that's rolling over from last month. I just didn't get to it, but I love me some Joe Hill. It's his debut novel. I'm sure it's going to be excellent. I literally started it this morning, so no thoughts on it just yet, but I'm excited for it because everything Joe Hill touches is gold. I love his writing, and so I'm excited to check this one out. The next book is going to be My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. 2 months ago in April, April, I listened to Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. That was my first Grady Hendrix book. I wasn't really sure if I was going to like him or not. I've kind of heard mixed things. So I decided to get a free audiobook on Libby, and I loved that book. I thought Witchcraft for Wayward Girls was incredible. My friends got me this for my birthday. So I'm like, all right, now that I know that I like his writing style, I'm ready to dive into this one. I've heard a lot of great things about this book. Don't know anything about it, but I love me some exorcisms. The Exorcist is one of my favorite movies of all time. So excited to get into this one. I'm loving the like 80s retro vibe that's on the cover. So yeah, we'll see how it is. We'll see if I'll keep the Grady Hendrix going. Hopefully I love it because I know he's got a lot of books and a lot of people like him as a writer a lot. So high hopes for this one. The next book, and it's about time that I've read another book by this author. This is going to be Children of the Night by Dan Simmons. This is another book that was gifted to me by my friends on my birthday, and I love Dan Simmons, but I've only read one book by him, and that's The Terror, but it is one of my favorite books of all time, and I've been saying for like almost a year now. I think it's been close to a year since I read The Terror. I was like, I need to read another Dan Simmons book. I need to read another Dan Simmons book. And then my friends got me this for my birthday, and I was like, perfect. I have the next one. Let's commit to reading it. Pretty beefy book. I mean, it's a little over 400 pages. I guess it seems bigger than it actually is, but not too worried about it. I think I'll be able to knock it out, especially if it's the same quality of writing as The Terror. I could see myself breezing through this one because I literally couldn't put The Terror down. It was so incredible. All I know about this one is it has to deal with vampires, and I think the son of Dracula. So that sounds really cool. I guess they need to like reunite him, or like the son of Dracula gets kidnapped and they have to go get him, like some characters. I don't know. I just kind of read the back of it. But that is Children of the Night, one I haven't heard of before by him, but Dan Simmons is dope. Let's check it out. So that is the next book that I'm going to read. This next book, this is what's going to kind of make it or break it for me this month. This one is Dune House Harkonnen. This is book two in the prequel to Dune trilogy. I read Dune House Atreides back in April, and that book was not my favorite. It's definitely my least favorite of the book ones in all three of the Brian Herbert trilogies that I've read so far. It took me a long time to get through that story. I just wasn't ever really invested in it, and so it just kind of dragged on and on and on. This book is even bigger than the first one. I think this book is like 720 pages long. So hopefully this one is an improvement over the first book so that, it's not as tough for me to get to. This might be a book that I kind of chip away at slowly throughout the entire month and kind of like do a section here, read another book, do a section here. Hopefully that's not the case. I don't like reading many books at the same time because I start to lose the plot on some of the other ones. But yeah, Dune House Harkonnen. We'll see how it is. I don't dislike Brian Herbert's stuff. I love the Schools of Dune trilogy. It's just Dune House Atreides just didn't do it for me. So hopefully book two gets a little better. But this is the definitely the biggest book of the month that I'm going to read. Next one is, and it's about time, Red Rising by Pierce Brown. One of my goals for 2026 was to read the entire Red Rising series. I haven't started it yet. I think there's either 5 or 7 books in the series. I can't remember. Hopefully it's 5. Otherwise, I might be a little screwed. I might have to do like a Pierce Brown month where I just knock out the entire series, knowing me. But I've heard amazing things about this story. Some of my best friends, this is like their favorite series ever. I see this on a lot of people's bookshelves. You know, I follow like r/bookshelf pictures on Reddit, and I feel like every other post has the entire Red Rising series just posted up on their bookshelf. So one I'm really excited about, one that I've heard some great things about. All I know is that it's like I think a dystopian society where there's like a class system, and I think the Reds are like the lowest of the class, and they're basically like trying to get vengeance on the upper level classes. I might be butchering that. I know very little about it, but I've heard great things. Let's do it. It's time to finally dive in to Red Rising. The next book, I'm going to keep this train going. This is going to be my nostalgia pick for the month. We got New Moon by Stephanie Meyer. I decided, against my own best interest, to read Twilight last month, and surprisingly, I actually enjoyed it. Like, don't get me wrong, it is not an amazing book. The relationship between Bella and Edward is toxic to say the least. Like, Edward surprised me at how much of a jerk he was throughout that story, but I found it surprisingly easy to read, and I blew through Twilight in just like a couple of days. So I was like, you know what? It's fresh in my brain. Let's get into New Moon. All I really remember about this book is that Edward like leaves Bella at the beginning, and she crashes out for like half the book and starts to like jump off cliffs and stuff to try to see visions of him. So yeah, that sounds amazing. But let's get into New Moon. This is going to be my nostalgia pick, and if I keep having fun with these books, I'll probably just do one book per month and end out the series. So that is my nostalgia pick. And then the final physical book that I'm going to try to get through this month is going to be my Stephen King pick of the month, trying to read one a month. That was one of my goals for the year. And I kind of faltered on that in the first 5 months. I'm finally caught back up because I finished 2 Stephen King books in May. And so now I'm going to try to really stick to my one a month goal throughout the rest of the year. Sticking to publication order, the next one up for me is going to be Cujo by Stephen King. Don't know much about this book. I only know that it has to deal with a like rabid flesh-eating dog, I believe. All I know is that one of my best friends says that this book is the reason that he is terrified of dogs. I love dogs. I have a dog myself. I can't see this book like making me hate dogs, but I don't know. My buddy said it gave him a very strong emotional reaction. So we'll check this one out. We'll see how it is. But I've heard a lot of people say good things about this book, so I'm excited to get into it. So that is Cujo. And then, as always, I always put some audiobooks on here. I like to listen to audiobooks on my drive to and from work, and when I'm doing like, housework around the apartment, cleaning dishes, cooking, and stuff like that. I usually like to keep my audiobooks pretty loose. I kind of just pick what pops out at me. I only choose a couple per month. The one that I'm currently reading right now that I started in May, I'm only about a third of the way through it, but it is Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I think a lot of people are familiar with and know that series. I started it because I have some coworkers of mine and my fiance who were like, "You got to read it, you got to read it, you got to read it." Doing Twilight and Fourth Wing at the same time is just is crazy, but I'm actually having a really good time with it. I'm definitely liking Fourth Wing more than I like the first book of ACOTAR, Court of Roses and Thorns, or Thorns and Roses. I said that backwards, but I'm liking Fourth Wing more than the first book in that series. It's much more focused on action and military and dragons and cool stuff like that. Definitely less on the romance, although there is still the romantic aspect in Fourth Wing as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure that escalates as I'm still very much at the beginning of the book. But so far, I'm enjoying it. If I get to the end of Fourth Wing and I really like it, I might just jump into the next book in the series. I think there's 3 out right now. It's like Iron Flame and Onyx Storm, I think, something like that. But yeah, if I like Fourth Wing, I'll probably just jump into the next one and just start knocking those out because my fiance has been asking me for months like to read it. So let's try it. And then the other audiobook that I have downloaded is Children of Dune by Frank Herbert. 2 months ago, I listened to the Dune audiobook. Last month I listened to Dune Messiah, and I figured I'd keep it going and do Children of Dune this month. I've read all of the physical versions of these books, but this is my first time experiencing them in audiobook format. Dune is one of my favorite franchises of all time. And so I've really been enjoying these audiobooks. They're like really high production, a lot of different voice actors, the sound effects, the music, all of that. So going to keep it going with Children of Dune. And if I get to the end of this book and I really like it, I'll probably just hop into God Emperor of Dune and just listen to them all in audiobook format. It's really cool re-experiencing these stories that I love in a new format because it's like listening to them again for the first time or experiencing them again for the first time. And Dune Messiah definitely, upon a re-listen or a reread, gave me that new experience once again, just like I got from reading the first Dune book in audio format. So yeah, might keep it going. But that is all I have. That is my very ambitious stack of books that I'm going to try to get through in June of 2026. Wish me luck. Let me know if you've read any of these books down in the comments and what you think about them. And thank you so much for checking out this video. My name is Christian, and y'all have a great rest of your day. Peace.